Baghdad had been founded by the Arab conquerors of Iraq in the 8th century. It became the greatest cultural center in the world, the richest city on earth, it was said. Little survives of that time today. Successive destructions of Baghdad have seen to that. But in the center of the old city is the mosque of its patron saint, Abd al-Ghailani. This was built at a time when colleges and philanthropic institutions were created throughout Islam, before the universities of the West, before Oxford, the Sorbonne and Bologna. The civilized atmosphere of its courtyards brings to mind the great scholars of the past who learned and taught here. Scholars who translated the sacred books of the Jews and Christians, as they said, that we might better understand the decisions of God. Humane learning, wrote one of them, Abd al-Latif, leaves an aura like a ray of bright light shining on those who come after. And inside the shrine, you're reminded again of the old customs of Mesopotamian worship, in the glittering Holy of Holies, whose magnificence distantly reflects something of that old pre-Islamic world. Saint, poet and mystic, al-Ghailani was founder of one of the great Sufi orders. And to pause for thought here in his shrine is to feel what a dynamic force Iraqi Islam, Shia and Sunni has been through history. But now, at the end of the 20th century, however much the rich and complacent West may wish it otherwise, Islam is once again a great power in the world. A beacon for the dispossessed peoples of Asia and Africa, an idea for which people still live and die. From the time of Harun al-Rashid, Baghdad was one of the three greatest cities in the world, along with Constantinople and Xi'an in China. And like them, it was one of the great transmitters by which the cultural legacy of the ancients was passed on to the medieval and modern world. It's often forgotten in the West, but much of the Greek scientific and philosophical legacy was passed on to us by Arab scholars. And here in Baghdad in particular, the Mesopotamian legacy in astronomy and mathematics is found in medieval Arab texts, like this one. The library here at the Ghailani Mosque was founded in the 12th century, and some of its books date from that time, like this beautiful Quran. But it was one of the great tragedies in the history of Iraq that this period of high culture in Baghdad was cut short by the devastating Mongol attack of 1258, when the city was totally destroyed. And in the aftermath, one of the survivors left this poignant note. I recovered this book from the river Tigris, where it was thrown by the Mongols. Year of the Hijra, 656. That's 1258 in the Western calendar. I am poor for the mercy of God. Muhammad Abdul Qadr from Mecca. A testimony to enduring faith not only in God, but in the power of the written word to create civilization. You asked me, wrote a contemporary, about the sack of Baghdad. It was so horrible there are no words to describe it. I wish I'd died earlier and not seen how the fools destroyed these treasures of knowledge and learning. I thought I understood the world, but this Holocaust is so strange and pointless that I'm struck dumb. The revolution of time and its decisions have defeated reason and knowledge. The destruction of Baghdad in 1258 and the wrecking of the irrigation canals was a turning point in the history of the Middle East. There's no doubt, said a Persian writer, that even if for 1,000 years to come no evil befell Iraq, it will not be possible completely to bring back the land to the state it was before.